We need to talk about Ben Whittaker and Anthony Joshua's secret plan. Today I'm going to talk about Ben's matchroom debut in a key detail that needs to be discussed. I'm also going to break down exactly why AJ is taking this fight with Jake Paul. And finally, Oleksandr Usyk calling out Deontay Wilder, so make sure to stick around, there's a lot to talk about. If you're new to the channel, my name's Lawrence Usyk, a professional boxer and also former member of GB amateur boxing team. First of all, let's talk about Ben Whittaker destroying Benjamin Gavazi. But let's be real, he brought no resistance. He was brought in by Matchroom to make him look good, to get that knockout reel. Ben done exactly what he was meant to do, but I'm sorry, that opponent wasn't good enough. He's a talented fighter, he's way above that level. Olympic silver medalist, it speaks for itself. Everybody wants to see him tested, see how good he is, because what we can't forget, not too long ago, his first fight with Liam Cameron, when the going got tough, he turned to synchronised diving or synchronised high jump and found an exit. And I must say, he executed it perfectly. And don't get me wrong, I've not forgotten, in the rematch, Ben destroyed Liam. Maybe Liam was a bit overly confident, but either way, Ben got the job done. But here's the problem, the fans don't forget, in the first fight with Liam Cameron hasn't been erased yet. We needed to see a step up, or at least that level. I do think Ben can go far in boxing, pick up some belts, but the question is, how far? And right now, I'm just not sure. I give him all the credit for his rematch with Cameron. He showed character, he came back more focused, a better mindset, and teaming up with Andy Lee was perfect. Andy Lee's been there and done it, a former world champion, great coach, bringing that Kronk style, it's exactly what Ben needed. But Benjamin Gavazi, on paper had a decent record, but unfortunately, that's all it was. It was basically target practice, he brought nothing, he was a walking punch bag. It's what Eddie Hearn wanted, a knockout reel, but come on, he could have found better than that in a local old people's home. I do understand that Eddie has invested a lot of money in him and it was his matchroom debut and he wants to build him, generate the hype. But what it tells me, that Eddie isn't confident in his ability. Because let's get it right, we're not talking about a young man with no experience. He's 28 and a former Olympian. Just look at his ring walk, he's oozing with confidence. And I've got to say, I do love it. He's definitely got star quality. If Eddie Hearn was confident, there's so many light heavyweights in the country he could have chose. The problem is, fighting another bin man isn't going to help him when he steps up. It'll just be Liam Cameron 1 all over again. This division is full of monsters, and I'm not even talking about David Benavidez, who just destroyed Anthony Yarde. I was there with the pain game, and I did predict Benavidez to win, but I didn't think it would be that easy. Yarde wasn't at the races, it was a one-sided beatdown. Anthony Yarde must make a change. I'm not saying to leave Tunde, but he needs more experience in the team. He was tippy-tapping with his punches, and we've all seen the pad work. Guess what? You fight how you train. Trying to be like Floyd Mayweather for the cameras, public workouts, is all good and well, but when it doesn't work in practice, get rid. Ben's next opponent needs to be decent, otherwise the fans won't pay to see it, and also won't do many favours in the long run. Can he become world champion and beat the likes of Bivol and Benavidez? I'm just not sure. He's got the star quality, but I think he lacks elite level toughness and power. He may be an Olympic silver medalist, but the amateurs is very different to the pros. You can be a great boxer and a mover over 3 rounds, but 12 rounds is a different ball game. In pro boxing, you get fighters with average boxing ability who are tough and can bang. They'll go through you. No disrespect, but Fabio Wardley is a class example. The simple fact is, Fabio Wardley's learning on the job. He didn't have any amateur experience, but he's tough and he can bang. But it's credit to him, the work and dedication he's put in, and he's squeezed every last drop out of his talent. Like I said earlier, Ben's got the talent, the personality, and personally, I love his showboating style. He's not everybody's cup of tea, love or hate him, but he makes people care and want to tune in. There's nothing worse than having talent, but people not caring. For me right now, the jury's still out. But I do see improvements, the flamboyant style, the showboating, but with more focus and spite. Thanks to his coach Andy Lee, bringing the Kronk style. But that being said, I think he's a long way from world level. He's got a lot of learning and development to do. Let's talk madness. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, the craziest fight of the year. But for AJ, I do think there's method in the madness. When I talk about it out loud, it still doesn't feel real. When you're talking levels, in weight, one's up here and one's down there. And I don't blame AJ, it's a no-brainer. It's his biggest payday to date, which is mad to say. For Jake Paul, it's all about the shock factor, doing the impossible, and the fact that people call him for his previous opponents, ex-MMA fighters, ex-boxers, retired fighters. Jake's desire to do something crazy, get credibility, could get him early retirement, or even worse, if you know what I mean. But Jake's insanity is played into AJ's hands, giving him publicity, getting him back in people's mind, while also giving him his easiest and best pay to date. Not that he needs it, but AJ has won the lottery. In credit to Jake, he's got some balls, but it's also incredibly stupid. I came through the amateurs with AJ, boxed for England together, and also on GB, I'd done technical sparring, and trust me when I say, the guy's a monster. And Jake Paul, in my opinion, wouldn't win an area title. And by the way, there's no chance in the gym he's holding his own with heavyweights. Trust me, I've been around boxing a long time, I've sparred heavyweights, and Jake is nowhere near my level. And yes, he's put on size, but naturally, he's my size. And we're all seeing the picture that Jake put up, sparring with Okoli, Jared Anderson, and Sanchez. Trust me, they would take his head off. You're talking world level fighters, welterweights would beat him up. People saying AJ's past his best, coming off injury, mentally fragile. Trust me, Jake Paul's still no threat. You could chop off an arm and a leg, take an eye out, and he would still beat Jake Paul. Just look what he done to Francis Ngannou. He destroyed him. Not a boxer, but a UFC heavyweight world champion. Francis Ngannou's a monster, a freak of nature. He's got a head like this, like a rhino, and AJ obliterated him. Let's not forget, Jake couldn't beat Tommy Fury, and let's be honest, he's shite. Tommy might have the Fury name, but when it comes to fighting, he got his mother's side. He came out of Love Island with all the attention being Tyson's brother. He had to prove he can fight. So he basically fell back into boxing, but he doesn't want to be a fighter. All the pressure from his dad, John Fury, the poor kid had no choice. Tommy's a good looking kid, body like a Greek god. You know, be a model. Why be a boxer and spoil your looks when you're no good? Anyway, enough about him. AJ's now training with Team Usyk. It may be a good move, time will tell, but it was definitely a good move leaving Ben Davison. Ben is a good coach, but unfortunately him and AJ wasn't a good match. Personally, I think AJ should have went back to his old coach, Rob McCracken, the man that took him from Olympic gold to professional world champion. AJ's an overthinker, and Rob McCracken is all about the basics, simple boxing. I've worked with Rob myself back in my GB days because he's head of GB boxing. Usyk mentioned recently in an interview he invited AJ because they've become good friends and said he wanted to help him. It just shows the type of man Usyk is.
Anthony is like a friend. If I can help my opponents, I help.
It's funny how history repeats. It reminds me of Lennox Lewis when he was beaten by Oliver McCall, and then he later went on to train with McCall's trainer, Emmanuel Stewart from the famous Kronk Gym, and the rest is history. AJ fighting Jake Paul, an easy fight with less pressure, gives him more time to focus on training and adopting the new style. Because let's be honest, he doesn't need a camp for Jake Paul. He can just concentrate on his own self-development. Which leads me to Oleksandr Usyk wanting to fight Deontay Wilder. Did I hear that right? I'm sorry, but Wilder's finished, a has-been, used to be, back in the day, but not anymore. It's pretty clear he only wants to fight guys from his era, not the young guys coming through. Which is the reason why he gave up the WBO belt rather than fight Fabio Wardley. He did say in the interview he needed a rest, but then he went on to say had Parker won, he would have been interested. It doesn't quite make sense because previously he could have fought Parker, the man who beat Wilder, but wasn't interested. And yes, I know it's boxing, it's all about timing, in politics, and all that rubbish, but I don't like it. He's achieved it all in boxing. To an extent, he can do what he wants, but I've also said on the channel, personally, I think he should retire. He's got nothing to prove. I don't want to see him beaten by Father Time, and Deontay Wilder is still dangerous, he's got power. But when it's all said and done, Usyk wants Deontay Wilder, one of the best heavyweights of this era, on his record. Let me know what you think of it all. Please let me know in the comment section. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.